Hello, YouTube, and welcome again to my channel. It's great to be here. Happy, it's Thursday, and it's Thursday, almost Thursday afternoon here in Huntsville, Alabama. So real quick housekeeping. I was looking at the analytics of this channel, this very small new channel, and I was surprised to see that like 70% of the views of my videos so far have been by people who don't subscribe. And I'm like, dude, what's up with that? Why wouldn't you subscribe to this channel? If you're watching it right now, smash that subscribe button. Why not? I think all that does is it just pops my videos into your feed whenever you get onto YouTube. So yeah, do that. That'd be awesome. Thank you. Okay. So today's video, I wanted to talk a little bit about something I think is important with respect to work. And that's the metaphor of family and how it's used in a business setting. So this may at first kind of seem a little contradictory with the things I was saying in my video yesterday about the household and slavery and employment and all of that. And I promise you it's not. But just cruise with me here. So the point I want to make is that I think the metaphor of family is a bad metaphor for businesses to use. And I actually think it's usually done with a degree, at least subconsciously, but probably on purpose, of manipulation on behalf of the employer. So what do I mean by that? And again, hear me. Yeah, if you're an employer and you like to use the term, hey, we're a family here, blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying you're evil and you're a bad person, but I do think it's a bad metaphor and you should stop. And here's why. A family, my relationship to my kids is my love for them. My commitment to them is unconditional, right? They'll always be my kids. I'll never, there's nothing they can do that's going to change that. And that's not true of your employees, right? The metaphor, and I learned a lot of this in the book, The Alliance, by the guys whose names I can't remember, but they started LinkedIn. It's a great book, by the way, and I'll talk a little bit more about it. But they argue that the better metaphor is one of a sports team, right? And if you think about that, a professional sports team, it's not that there's not camaraderie. It's not that there's not affection and even love, for your teammates. But there is also an understanding that, hey, this is still a performance-based environment. And if you're doing a great job and it's a great fit, you're probably going to be here for a long time. You're going to be a legacy quarterback or whatever, right? But at the end of the day, the team has its goals and if you're not carrying your weight, we're going to have to let you go, right? And it's not personal necessarily, but this is a sports team, right? And we're here to win games, right? And so I think that's a much better metaphor for what we're doing in a work environment and an employee-employer kind of relationship. And one of the reasons places where I see this metaphor break down is, how many of you work at a company where like where the employer, the managers, they talk about a family, we all love each other and we all got each other's back and welcome to the family. It's good to have you part of the fill in the blank company family. But you and I both know that when the right time comes, when somebody makes a big enough offer, they're going to sell the company, and to a new company that's going to take over. And we know that company, when they buy your company, is probably going to look for ways to consolidate, right? To find inefficiencies in the business and make it run more efficiently, which probably is going to lead to layoffs, right? And that doesn't happen in a family, right? I mean, it's not like as a dad, I'm low key, looking for another guy to come over and buy me out and take over my family, right? And take over parenting my kids. Like that's not happening. And so it's really not a good metaphor for work. But I'll say, where I think this ties in with the discussion about the household, and it's something that there's a lot more to talk about, and I'm not going to get to it today, but I will say that the reason why I think there's some degree of nefarious intent behind using the term family when bosses use the term family to their employees is I think corporations and companies are really false households, right? They're false families. They actually, what they'd really like really is to become your family. And it's a perverted sort of thing because they're reducing family to things that they can actually do. Like you see a lot of, it's really common now for companies to have meal plans, like we pay for your lunch and you can just have lunch here. And we've got all your entertainment. You can relax here. We've got ping pong tables and foosball tables and so like really, everything you want and need is here at the office. And the problem is that, like, again, they're not your family. What they really want is for you to like never leave and for you to treat them like your family, for you as an employee to have the kind of loyalty to the company that you do to your family. But it's not a two-way street, right? It's not, they're going to fire you if you're not doing your job. They're going to sell the company if there's a better if there's an opportunity for them to do that, the right opportunity. And the truth is that, look, we should all treat this relationship like a sports team. I'm going to be here for as long as it makes sense for me and my family to make sense to be here. As long as I'm growing and I'm learning and I'm developing new skills and I'm getting something valuable out of this relationship and it's moving me in my career forward, then I'm gonna be here. And let's make sure that happens. In the same token, if I stop being valuable to the company, if I stop adding value, I know that I'm gonna get fired. That's the way it should work, right? So just to bring it back to the book, The Alliance, the thing that they talk about is this idea of like tours of duty, which I think is really cool. So trying to kind of structure your relationship with your company less as a permanent long-term contract. Which is funny. I'm in like the staffing industry and there's like a difference between per diem, part-time, locum tenens, doctors, and permanent placement, right? And the funny thing is the word permanent because, I know permanent placement recruiters who have permanently placed the same doctor in 5 different places, right? Which is funny. But yeah, the idea of like a tour of duty, like I'm here at this company right now because I'm trying to get from here in my career to here. I want to get from here to here, right? I want to develop these skills. I want to take on these new challenges. I want to get this new training, etc. And the company is here and they're trying to get here. They want to grow. They want to grow their team, or they want to increase their sales or improve their marketing program or whatever it is. How can we partner with each other to both move each other further along towards our goals? And right now there's an alliance, there's an opportunity for us to define a tour of duty that accomplishes a lot for both of us, has kind of has a clear purpose and endpoint. I don't think obviously that most of us can go back and like renegotiate our employment contract to work that way, but I do think that we can as employers and employees be just more honest with each other about that and try to initiate more conversations around, hey, this is where I want to get in my career. And I think I can get there here. And I think it will be mutually beneficial for me and the company because I think I can help the company get to here. Is that something that you guys are interested in? Or do you guys just want me to stay in this like spot that I'm in now and never leave and never cause any problems and never want more? that'll be an interesting conversation, right? For a lot of people. And, there's some people who aren't at all ambitious and are not trying to grow and expand in their career. And there's nothing, I don't want to say that that's a bad thing necessarily. There's something admirable to be just content with your job. But I think most people, especially early in their career, should be looking to grow and to obtain more skills and experience. And so a job is a great way to do that. But in my experience, it's hard for companies over a long period of time for that alliance to keep being mutually beneficial. It's like you're trying to go here and the company's trying to go here, and you sort of cross paths, and usually over the course of 2 or 3 years, there can be a really great alignment. But there comes a point where the company wants to keep going this way, and your goals don't really align, and it's kind of hard to keep you on and keep you moving forward towards your goals, and stay there at the same time. It's hard for companies, and this is frustrating, I think, for a lot of employees to see people hired in above them, in jobs that they were hoping they'd get promoted into. And I get it. It can be offensive, especially if they've been told that they're a family member, and like that whole metaphor of like our mutual loyalty, that starts to feel like betrayal, when you see that happen. And again, this is why I think it's important not to talk about the relationship that way. Because the reality is that, when you've got an employee in a spot where they're really good and they're adding a lot of value and they're good at their job, it's a bigger risk to break the machine and move that person into a new spot that you're not sure they're going to be good at, and then also hire somebody to backfill their spot that you're also not sure is going to be as good as they were. So it's a big ask for an employee to say, I want you to do that. I want you to take a risk on me in this new job and take a risk on hiring somebody else, when they can leave you where you are and where you're good, and they can just take a risk on one position, right? And so I think that's the difficult decision that a lot of companies find themselves in, and I think that the outworkings of that result in a lot of employees feeling like they've been betrayed or lied to or misled. When I think, this is just the nature of business. And if you weren't allowing yourself to be sort of lulled into thinking that this is a family and that this is putting more stock in this relationship than you ought, or just treating it in a way that you ought not to, then I think you wouldn't set yourself up for that kind of heartache. So there's my pitch. There's my thoughts on the alliance and tours of duty, and the metaphor of sports in business versus the metaphor of family. There's a lot of other stuff probably to talk about, rabbit trails, but let me know what you think. Have you guys experienced this? Have you had this experience in work where you thought that, there was this mutual loyalty, or there was this commitment from the business? How many employers, talk about, we want to promote from within and we want to grow our employees and all that stuff. And it's like really disappointing to find out later that that's just hard to do, and they're not really committed to that. So anyway, I'd love to hear what you guys think about it. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you maybe tomorrow. Cheers.